Did anybody hear about the shooting in Florida, in Miami, Florida, that just took place? It's not been on Fox News. It's not been on CNN. It happened yesterday. It's not even been in the news. Happened, I think, after midnight. I'll read the story to you, but I guess it was two people were killed. Two or three people were killed, and several were shot. And it never made the news. And without question, this is because Obama didn't want it to make the news. But had it been another LGBT nightclub, you know that would have made the news, right? But let me read it to you here. Florida police said on Monday, I guess it was this morning, said on Monday they had taken 3 people into custody, but were searching for additional suspects in connection with a shooting outside a nightclub just after midnight that left 2 teenagers dead and more than a dozen people wounded. You think that would have been on Fox News today, right? You think that would have been on CNN. All they did was cover the DNC, or whatever they call it, the Democrats convention. That's all they covered today. Nothing else. They never brought this to the light of day, or as far as letting people know. I found this on Reuters, and then also it's been in a couple other papers today in Google. But as far as mainstream news, it hasn't been on the news. The shooting took place shortly after 12:30 a.m. On Monday in a parking lot of Club Blue, which was hosted an event open to teenagers, the Fort Myers Police Department said. An 18-year-old high school basketball star and Sean Achilles, 14, were killed. 2 young people, 18 and 14 years old. You think that would have been on Fox News or CNN, right? 2 other people were critically wounded. Police officials in Fort Myers, I guess it was Fort Myers, I was thinking it was Miami. Fort Myers, located on Florida's Gulf Coast, said terrorism was not a factor in the state's latest outburst of gun violence this summer, but provided no details about a possible motive. The 3 young men were arrested after fleeing the scene in 2 vehicles and were charged in connection to that pursuit, according to the Lee County Sheriff's Office said in a statement posted on Facebook. According to the statement, Derek Church, 19 years old, was charged with assault on a law enforcement officer after accelerating his vehicle toward a sheriff's deputy. Now, how come this didn't make the news today? Because Obama wants everybody to believe that violence is down in America. Church was shot in the stomach by the deputy during the acceleration or altercation, but was treated and has been released from the hospital, the sheriff's department said. A 19-year-old and another 22-year-old were taken into custody on suspicion of resisting arrest, according to the statement. This was not a terrorist attack, Fort Myers interim police chief Dennis said at a news conference. He said officers responding to the shooting found chaos at the scene. No one really knew what was going on or what happened. Officers provided first aid to victims, bandaging some with tourniquets to stop the bleeding, he said. Paramedics took some victims to the hospital while others drove themselves. At least 19 people ranging from 12 years old, can you believe this? From 12 years old to 27 years old were treated at a local hospital. And this didn't make the Fox News? 12 years old to 27 years old. This is absolutely hypocrisy that this didn't make the news. But like I said, if it had been a shooting that would have been, supporting their agenda, this would have been all over the news today. 3 patients remained hospitalized at Lee Memorial as of Monday afternoon, 2 of whom were in critical condition. The shooting came 6 weeks after a massacre at the nightclub in Orlando, which made headlines in the news for days and days because it was the LGBT community. This is just the hypocrisy of this administration and of this country even. It's amazing. Fort Myers, about 150 miles southwest of Orlando, was the scene of another shooting incident last October when one person was killed and several were wounded by gunfire at a festival that attracts thousands of people in zombie costumes. Okay, let me tell you what's going on here. It was an all-ages party, so anybody could go. Before the latest shooting, Club Blue, located at a partially vacant strip mall, was hosting a swimsuit glow party for people all ages, according to a flyer posted on Twitter by television station Wink, W-I-N-K. Interesting. Wink. The nightclub said on its Facebook page that the shooting occurred when the venue was closing and parents were picking up their children. The page later appeared to have been removed. Isn't that interesting? We tried to give the teens what we thought was a safe place to have a good time. The nightclub's post said, adding that armed security guards were present inside and outside the club. It was not kids at the party that did this despicable act. The 37-year-old father of one of the children of a 14-year-old was killed, said his son loves sports, especially basketball. It happened for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, he said in a telephone interview, adding that he had not been told details about his son's death. Can you believe that this is the reaction of this dad? It happened for a reason? It happened for a reason? Who talks like that when their child is killed? It happened for a reason. Man, this generation, bunch of zombie imbeciles. Sean was due to enter 8th grade at Royal Palm Exceptional Center, where while Strotter was to start his senior year at the Lehigh Senior High School, according to Lee County School District. Strotter's mother, Stephanie White, told the newspaper that her son was shot in his right shoulder as he walked out of the nightclub and was pronounced dead at the hospital. How can he die from a shot in the shoulder? His 19-year-old sister survived a gunshot wound in the leg. This didn't make Fox News or CNN all day long. Come on, people. Police said shots were also fired at a nearby residence where there was one minor injury. In a video interview, I can't pronounce their name, said her daughter had a friend ran for cover. Her daughter escaped unscathed, but a bullet struck her friend in the leg. Somebody was using a machine gun, it sounds like, spraying bullets. And this didn't make the news today. Something is definitely wrong. Does Obama have that kind of control over the news? That this didn't make the news? That this hasn't been on every major news outlet today? Not even in the lower headlines. It didn't even make the lower headlines, people. The little, what they call that thing down at the bottom, the ticker. It didn't even make the ticker under alert. today. This thing has been totally, completely as if it never happened, as far as the mainstream media. Been totally, completely blocked out of the news today. And if it wasn't for these independent news outlets that we, thank God, have, like Reuters and others, we wouldn't even have known about it. But why do they do that? Why would they make a big deal out of what happened in Orlando, but then they don't even talk about this? Because Obama just got done saying in a statement that crime is down in the United States since he took office. That violence is at an all-time low. That's what Obama is saying. He wants to leave the administration. He wants to leave the White House having the legacy that crime was brought down over his watch. Oh my. I mean, is this president insane? Is he delusional? Is he in denial? I just and they overemphasize the fact that it was not an act of terror. Someone spraying bullets, young people being shot in the legs, two being killed, and this is not an act of terror. How is this not an act of terror? What are they really saying is this wasn't an act of ISIS? Is that what they're saying? Because this was certainly an act of terror. Now somebody is standing down on this. Somebody is telling the media and telling the police department to stand down. You don't think the president has power in this country? With a stroke of his pen? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, he does. That's dictatorship, people. See, I'm telling you, Obama is the type of person that if he could, he would go into the third term. If there was anything he could do to make it where he didn't have to leave office, he'll do it. This is the type of an individual that will do whatever it takes to stay in office. I believe that. I don't believe that he is willing to let go of this position. I really don't. And I'm wondering what he's got cooking, what he's got planned to bring the United States under his control for another term, at least another term. This is crazy. Oh my. Anyway, I just thought I would bring that to your attention. God bless you.